She won't say, "Take me home." She'll test if you can read the heat. Most men miss it, my friend. You get the long look, the slow smile, the shoulder brush, then you talk yourself out of the moment. You ask for permission with words when she's already giving permission with energy. I'm here to wake you up, not to comfort you. Women rarely announce desire. They invite it. They open their body language, create little pockets of privacy and drop lines like, "I feel safe with you," or "I don't want to go home yet." That's your green light, folks, not to rush but to lead. In this video, I'll give you the exact signals women use when they're ready, how to escalate slowly, how to check consent without killing the vibe, and how to keep your frame calm so she feels safe leaning in. We'll switch you from guessing to reading, from chasing to inviting, from awkward words to effortless presence. Because when you understand the language of green lights, you stop asking, "Is this okay?" and start moving with steady masculine intention. That's what keeps attraction hot, respectful, and real. And if she isn't there yet, your patience becomes the sexiest signal of all discipline, restraint, and timing over neediness, pressure, and haste tonight. Take a breath, reset your eyes, and pay attention. Let's get into it. Number 1. Her body opens before her words. Here's the truth, folks. Women rarely say what they mean when it comes to attraction. They show it. Long before a single word leaves her lips, her body has already started to tell the story. The problem is most men are too distracted, too eager, or too nervous to read the signals. Let me paint you a picture. Mark, 52, divorced for 3 years, meets Emily, 40, at a wine tasting event. She laughs at his dry humor, leans in when he speaks, touches her neck as she listens. Her knees angle toward him, even when she's talking to someone else. Mark misses every single cue. He thinks she's just friendly. Later that night, she leaves with someone else, not because she wasn't interested, but because he didn't feel her signals. You see, my friend, attraction isn't verbal, it's energetic. When a woman's body starts to open, it's her subconscious inviting you in. Her hips might point toward you. Her shoulders relax. She plays with her hair or brushes an imaginary speck off your sleeve. Her eyes stay locked a second longer than they should. These are not coincidences. These are quiet invitations. But here's where men go wrong. They either ignore it or they lunge at it. Both kill the moment. Stoicism teaches us to observe without rushing to act, to stay calm, aware, and intentional. The Stoic man doesn't pounce, he notices. He breathes. He lets her openness breathe too. Because here's the secret, the moment you react too strongly, you break the spell. Women want to feel seen, not hunted. The tension between her signal and your restraint is where attraction grows. She shows you acknowledge. She flirts with her energy. You match it with calm presence. That balance makes her feel safe and desired at the same time. Now, let's go back to Mark. The second time he met Emily, he'd learned. She laughed again, leaned in again, and this time he didn't rush. He met her gaze, smiled slowly, and said, "You've got a way of pulling people in when you talk." Her shoulders softened, her breath slowed. The invitation deepened. She wasn't reacting to his words, she was responding to his composure. That's how you recognize an open body and meet it with masculine stillness. When her body language shifts toward you, don't panic, don't overthink it. Stay grounded, mirror lightly. A small step closer, a soft smile. Hold eye contact, then let it go. That's how you build heat, not by forcing, but by holding. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Observe what is in front of you, the motions of the soul that are visible." That's what this is, observation. You're not guessing, you're reading what's right in front of you. And when you master that, you stop chasing signals that don't exist and start responding to the ones that do. So remember, her body opens before her words. She won't say, "I want you." She'll show it through the soft curve of her posture, through the way her voice slows, through the stillness that appears when she feels your presence. If you can see that without losing your calm, you're already ahead of most men. That's where confidence lives, not in what you say, but in what you see. Drop this in the comments, I've seen that signal. Stay tuned because next, we're breaking down the second sign, the subtle touch that lingers longer than friendship ever should. Number 2. Touch that lingers is never accidental. Listen closely, my friend. Women rarely make physical contact by mistake. When she touches your arm, brushes your hand, or lets her fingers rest just a second too long, that's not a coincidence. That's intention hidden behind subtlety. The longer the touch, the louder the message. But here's where most men get it wrong. They either freeze pretending they didn't notice, or they explode with excitement, killing the tension instantly. Both reactions reveal insecurity. What she's really testing is your ability to stay grounded when her energy shifts closer. She's not asking you to jump, she's watching if you can stay composed while the air gets thicker. In Stoic philosophy, this is the art of emotional control. Seneca once said, "He who is brave is free." In moments like this, bravery isn't about making a move. It's about holding your frame. The freedom comes from knowing you don't have to rush. You don't have to turn every touch into action. You simply feel it without losing your calm. When a woman lingers in her touch, she's communicating comfort, trust, and curiosity, but also awareness. She's saying, without words, I feel safe around you. I want to see how you respond. And your response tells her everything she needs to know about your maturity. Think about it. If she lightly grazes your forearm while laughing, you could either stiffen like you've been electrocuted, or you could simply hold her gaze, smile, and continue the conversation as if nothing happened. That's the difference between nervous energy and controlled magnetism. The Stoic man doesn't need to amplify the moment, he lets it breathe. There's a silent conversation happening underneath every touch. It's about rhythm, not reaction. If you stay calm, she'll lean in again. If you stay steady, she'll test the connection a little more. But if you flinch or chase it, you show her that you're not used to being desired, and desire thrives on steadiness, not surprise. Here's the truth, folks. Women know the power of touch better than we do. They use it deliberately. A hand on your chest while laughing, a shoulder bump that lasts too long, or a soft pat on your back that turns into a slow glide. These are invitations wrapped in innocence. But they're not asking you to pounce. They're asking you to see. And that's where the Stoic mindset sets you apart. You don't chase the feeling, you appreciate it. You don't overanalyze, you observe. You don't move first. You hold your center until the moment naturally invites more. That's composure. That's masculine restraint, the rare kind that makes women lean in without even knowing why. Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." That's exactly what this means. When you master your urge to react, you become the calm in her storm. She feels that steadiness in your body language, your eyes, your breath. That's when the dynamic shifts. She starts to lean in, more drawn by the mystery of your patience. So next time a woman's touch lingers, don't question it, don't overthink it, and don't rush it. Just stay there, grounded, aware, silent. Because in that stillness, you're saying more than any flirtatious line ever could. Touch that lingers is never accidental. It's a test, a signal, and an opportunity for you to prove that you can feel desire without losing discipline. Drop this in the comments, I've felt that signal before. Stay tuned because next we're talking about how she creates private moments on purpose, not by chance, but by choice. Number 3. She'll create moments for you to act. Here's something most men never realize. When a woman wants you, she won't say it out loud. She'll engineer the moment for you to make a move. She'll build the bridge, but she expects you to cross it. That's how attraction works. She gives the opening, and the man with awareness takes the lead calmly, confidently, and in control. Let me give you a real story. Greg, 50, owns a small fitness studio in Florida. He met Lydia, 41, at a charity event. Smart, funny, a little reserved. They exchanged numbers and met again for coffee. The conversation flowed naturally, full of laughter and quiet pauses that said more than words. Halfway through the evening, Lydia said, "It's still early. Do you want to check out this art exhibit down the street?" Greg agreed. She was giving him a green light, a chance to extend the moment, to deepen the connection. But later, when she leaned against the wall in the gallery, giving him that look, soft eyes, half smile, silence between them, Greg hesitated. He thought, "I don't want to come on too strong." By the time he said goodnight, the energy had faded. A week later, Lydia told him, "You're a really nice guy. You already know what that means." The moment passed. You see, folks, women create these pockets of opportunity because they want to feel led. Not forced, not chased. Led. They build the scene, the late-night walk, the quiet drive, the empty hallway, the slow goodbye, and they're silently waiting to see if you recognize it. But here's the tricky part: timing. Move too fast and it feels aggressive. Move too slow and it feels uncertain. The Stoic man finds the middle ground. He doesn't chase the outcome, he reads the energy. He senses when the air thickens, when her tone drops, when her eyes linger. He moves with intention, not hesitation. In Stoic philosophy, this is about discernment, knowing when to act and when to wait. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." That applies here perfectly. Her hesitation, her silence, her subtle tests, they aren't barriers. They're openings disguised as obstacles. She's not pushing you away. She's seeing if you can hold your composure long enough to lead the moment naturally. In Greg's case, all he had to do was lean a little closer, lower his voice and say something like, "This place feels different with you here." That would have been enough. A small step, a subtle signal, a confident tone, not needy, not rushed. That's how a man acts, with calm assurance. Remember this, my friend, women don't hand you opportunities, they build them around you. You just have to notice. When she lingers after the night ends, when she mentions her roommates out of town, when she stands a little closer under soft lighting, that's not small talk, that's design. Don't look for permission. Look for invitation. It's there, hidden in her timing, in the silence between her words. Because when she creates a moment, she's saying, "Lead me, but lead me gently." Drop this in the comments, "I've missed that moment before." Stick around, because next we'll talk about how comfort isn't just a feeling, it's her way of quietly saying yes. Number 4. Comfort is her way of saying yes. Most men think attraction is built on excitement, the laughs, the teasing, the sparks. But here's the truth, my friend. What really tells you she's ready isn't the thrill, it's the comfort. When a woman feels completely at ease around you, that's her quiet. Yes, it's not loud, it's not obvious, but it's real. You see, attraction without comfort is just tension. It's unstable. She may flirt, she may play, but if she doesn't feel safe in your presence physically, emotionally, energetically, she'll never let that wall down. Comfort is what gives her permission to trust you with her vulnerability. And trust, not charm, is the doorway to intimacy. When she starts opening up, telling you stories she doesn't tell others, when her tone softens, her posture relaxes, her guard lowers, that's her body and mind saying, "I can rest here." That's when a man's leadership becomes magnetic. You don't force comfort. You create it by being calm, consistent, and fully present. Now, here's where Stoicism aligns perfectly with this. The Stoic man doesn't get flustered. He doesn't overreact or overpromise. He's grounded in himself. Epictetus said, "No great thing is created suddenly." And attraction, the kind that lasts, is exactly that, built through patience, awareness, and respect. Comfort grows when you don't need to fill every silence. When she looks at you, searching your eyes for reaction, and you simply meet her gaze with stillness, no judgment, no rush, she feels something deeper than excitement. She feels safe. And safety, my friend, is the sexiest feeling a woman can have. But this doesn't mean being passive or boring. Comfort doesn't kill attraction, discomfort does. When your energy is calm, your presence steady, she feels free to express herself. And here's the paradox: when she feels free, that's when she leans in closer. Because now she knows she's not being led by pressure, she's being led by peace. The Stoics teach that a man's power lies in his self-control. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Apply that here. You can't control her pace, her readiness, or her feelings, but you can control how you show up. You can lead with grounded confidence, so she senses that your interest isn't desperation, it's choice. When she laughs more freely, touches you without hesitation, or starts sharing quiet moments that don't need words, that's the moment to lean in just slightly. No need to rush, no need to talk it to death. Let your stillness do the work. Comfort is her way of saying, "I trust you with this next step." Don't mistake it for boredom. Don't ruin it with neediness. Hold your frame. Lead with calm. That's how she knows you're the man who can handle her openness without breaking it. And if you want to master this balance, how to build comfort without losing tension, how to lead without overstepping, join the membership. Inside, you'll get full breakdowns of real Stoic techniques for emotional control, timing, and masculine energy in relationships. If you're serious about becoming the man who women trust and desire, then this is where you start. Now drop this in the comments. I've seen that calm turn into connection. And stay with me, because next we're talking about something even deeper, how the words she doesn't say can reveal everything you need to know. Number 5. The power of unspoken invitations. Here's something most men don't understand, my friend. Women rarely invite you with words. They do it with silence, timing, and atmosphere. It's not "come over," it's "I don't want to go home yet." It's not "kiss me," it's the pause, the eye contact, the way her voice drops just a little lower. The real invitations are unspoken. Let me give you a story. James, 54, recently divorced, met Sarah, 42, at a mutual friend's birthday dinner. He wasn't trying to impress her, just talking calm and natural. At the end of the night, as everyone was saying their goodbyes, Sarah smiled and said, "It's late, but I'm not tired yet." That right there was the moment. Not a test, not a trick, an invitation. But James, like most men, overthought it. He worried she might just be being polite. He said, "Yeah, me too," but didn't lead the moment anywhere. She smiled, nodded, and left. The next day, he realized she'd given him the perfect opening, and he'd let it pass. You see, folks, women often invite you into deeper connection through what they don't say. Their body slows down. The conversation softens. The environment becomes more private. Maybe she walks a little closer. Maybe she stops talking and just looks at you. That's her saying, "If you move closer, I won't move away." The Stoic man understands this rhythm. He doesn't rush to fill every silence. He reads the energy like a tide, steady, calm, patient. He knows that attraction isn't just built in what's said, but in the tension between words. When you can sit in that quiet moment without losing your cool, you separate yourself from every man who gets nervous and talks his way out of the moment. Now, here's the key. Unspoken invitations aren't about guessing, they're about awareness. You're not assuming, you're observing. If she lingers, if she doesn't pull back, if her voice stays warm, that's the time to lean in slightly, to match her openness with your calm confidence. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Observe constantly that all things take place by change." The dynamic between you and her is always shifting from conversation to comfort, from comfort to tension. The Stoic man doesn't fight the change. He flows with it, responding naturally, instead of over-analyzing. When a woman gives an unspoken invitation, she's offering you a test of presence. Can you read her energy? Can you move with calm intention instead of nervous need? That's what separates mature men from boys who chase validation. James learned that lesson the hard way. A few weeks later, he ran into Sarah again. This time, when she said, "I could use some company," he didn't freeze. He smiled, met her eyes, and said, "Let's take a walk. You pick the direction." It wasn't aggressive, it was composed. He recognized the unspoken invitation and led with quiet certainty. That's the power of awareness. It's not about saying the perfect thing, it's about feeling the right thing. Women remember men who make them feel safe while keeping the spark alive. That comes from stillness, patience, and presence. So, my friend, next time you find yourself in that charged silence, don't panic, don't talk it away. Hold it. That's where connection happens. Drop this in the comments, I've missed that silence before. And stay tuned next. We'll talk about how to read her energy, not her words, and why that skill alone can change everything about how women respond to you. Number 6. Read her energy, not her sentences. Here's the truth, my friend, women rarely tell you what they actually mean. They tell you what they feel safe expressing. And if you're the kind of man who only listens to the literal words, you'll miss 90% of the message. What really matters isn't in the sentences, it's in the tone, the pauses, the rhythm of her energy. A woman's attraction, her comfort, even her boundaries, all of it lives in her energy. The words are just camouflage. She might say, "I'm not sure," but her body leans toward you. She might tell you, "You're trouble," while her eyes say, "Keep going." A man who reads sentences will hesitate. A man who reads energy will know exactly where he stands. Now, let's be clear, this isn't about manipulation or guessing games. It's about awareness. The Stoic man isn't emotional chaos. He's emotional clarity. He doesn't react to surface-level noise. He watches. He feels. He listens deeper than words. Epictetus said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." When it comes to women, that's not just wisdom, it's strategy. You learn more by observing her silence than by trying to decode her sentences. Every shift in tone, every little sigh, every time she breaks eye contact, that's communication. And most men are too distracted to notice. You've probably been there talking with a woman who says she's fine, but something in her voice feels off. You sense distance. That's not her rejecting you. That's her checking if you're tuned in. When you notice and respond with calm empathy, not panic, not pressure, she relaxes again. That's how real connection deepens. The problem is too many men respond to words with words. She pulls back, and he floods her with explanations. She gets quiet, and he gets louder. That's not masculine energy, that's emotional noise. What she's really looking for is a man who can sense her instead of chasing her. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it." Apply that here. Don't get lost in the literal meaning of her words. Don't assign panic to every pause. Stay still, stay aware, and watch what her energy tells you. When a woman feels you can read her without her needing to explain herself, that's when she starts to trust you. That's when attraction shifts from curiosity to desire. Because she feels seen, not decoded. Reading her energy means noticing when her body language opens, when her laughter softens, when her tone drops to a whisper. It's in how she positions herself facing you fully or pulling away. It's how long her eyes linger before she looks down. Those are signals, not words, not scripts, but raw, honest cues. The Stoic man understands that emotional awareness doesn't weaken him, it amplifies his strength. Because when you can read someone's energy, you can lead the moment with confidence, not guesswork. You stop reacting to chaos and start responding with clarity. So next time she says something confusing, stop trying to solve it like a puzzle. Feel it instead. Her words are the surface. Her energy is the truth. Drop this in the comments. I've learned to feel, not overthink. Stay with me, because in the next part, we'll dive into how attraction grows not from control, but from letting her feel safe in your presence. You don't want to miss that. Number 7. Escalate, slowly lead with control. Here's where most men mess it up, folks. They think attraction means speed. They meet a woman, the chemistry feels right, and boom, they rush it. They push too fast too soon and wonder why everything collapses. But here's the secret: escalation isn't about rushing, it's about rhythm. It's about leading with patience, awareness, and masculine control. Let me give you a story. Ethan, 51, met Laura, 45, at a wine tasting event in Seattle. The connection was instant: shared laughter, lingering eye contact, subtle flirtation. Afterward, she said, "It's been a while since I laughed like that." Now, most men would have taken that as a green light and jumped straight into heavy pursuit. But Ethan did something different. He slowed it down. He smiled and said, "Then we should laugh again sometime. No pressure, no chase, just calm confidence." Over the next few days, he texted lightly, gave space, then re-engaged naturally. By the time they met again, the energy between them had deepened. Why? Because Ethan didn't let desire control him, he controlled it. That's what separates men who connect from men who chase. See, my friend, women feel everything. When you rush, they sense the tension, the neediness, the lack of self-control. But when you move with patience, when you let moments breathe, she feels your steadiness. That's what makes her lean in. Attraction isn't built through force, it's built through pacing. This is where Stoicism shines. Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." You don't lead her by controlling her. You lead by mastering your own impulses. Every move you make, every pause you hold, it communicates something. When you slow down, you create space for tension to grow naturally. That's how desire matures. Women are drawn to emotional rhythm. When your actions show control, your silence shows confidence, and your timing shows awareness, she feels both safe and intrigued. It's not about being cold or detached. It's about being deliberate. Think about it like this. Escalation is a dance, not a race. Ethan didn't flood Laura with compliments or touch her too quickly. He paid attention to her breathing, her eye contact, the distance she allowed between them. When she leaned closer, he mirrored it subtly. When she touched his arm while laughing, he didn't overreact, he let it linger, then shifted the topic, keeping mystery alive. That's masculine restraint, and it's rare. The truth is, when you escalate slowly, you're showing her something deeper, that you're not ruled by urges, you're guided by intention. And that, folks, is the difference between appearing desperate and appearing desirable. Women crave men who can lead them into deeper connection without ever making them feel rushed. The slower you move, the more she feels each step. The anticipation becomes electric because now she's chasing your calm, not your attention. And here's the paradox: when you lead with patience, everything unfolds faster. Because she feels safe. She feels wanted, not pressured. She feels seen, not cornered. So remember, the power isn't in the speed, it's in the control. That's what makes her trust you, crave you, and remember you long after the night ends. Drop this in the comments: "I've learned to move slower," and mean it. Stay tuned, my friend, because next we'll talk about how the energy you hold, even when you say nothing, can pull her in stronger than any words ever could. You don't want to miss this. Number 8. Permission is earned, not taken. Listen, my friend, this is where most men completely lose the game without even realizing it. They confuse permission with entitlement. They think attraction gives them access. They believe a smile, a touch, or an open body language means she's ready for more. But here's the reality: true permission, the kind that leads to connection and intimacy, is something you earn, not through pressure, not through words, but through your presence. Women don't give themselves to men they don't trust. They might flirt, they might tease, but the real invitation comes only when she feels emotionally safe, when she feels you're not trying to take anything from her. Because when a man is grounded, calm, and in control of himself, she senses that she's safe to open up. In Stoic philosophy, this idea runs deep. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. The moment you stop trying to force outcomes, you gain control over yourself. And that's what earns her permission, your discipline, not your desire. Too many men rush. They touch too soon. They lean in before she's ready. They push conversations where they haven't built comfort. And when she senses that impatience, that subtle greed, her instinct shuts down. She withdraws not because she isn't attracted, but because she doesn't feel safe in your frame. But when you move with composure, when you let your intention be clear, but your energy be calm, that's when permission naturally unfolds. It's not verbal, it's energetic. She'll show you in the way she leans closer, holds your gaze longer, laughs softer. When she feels your restraint, she begins to relax into it. Here's the paradox. The man who seeks permission rarely gets it. The man who earns it doesn't need to ask. His energy communicates respect, patience, and quiet dominance. He doesn't chase compliance, he creates comfort. The Stoics taught that mastery begins with self-control. Seneca said, "He who has great power should use it lightly." That's what masculine energy looks like when done right. Not forceful, not loud, but quietly assertive. When you lead with intention instead of urgency, she feels your strength without you having to prove it. Think about it: when you respect her boundaries without hesitation, she subconsciously knows you'll respect her body too. That awareness builds trust, and trust is what unlocks attraction on a deeper, primal level. Every look, every touch, every word becomes part of that energy exchange. You're not taking, you're inviting. You're not grabbing attention, you're holding presence. And that distinction makes all the difference. Women are naturally drawn to men who understand this balance. They crave the man who can lead without controlling, who can desire without demanding, because he represents emotional safety wrapped in masculine strength. That's why you don't need to ask for permission like a boy seeking approval. You show her you deserve it through your consistency, your tone, your patience. When you hold your power lightly, she feels it deeply. Remember this, folks. A woman gives herself to the man who doesn't need her to say yes, because his presence already tells her she can. Drop this in the comments: I don't take, I earn. And stay tuned, because next we'll talk about how your silence, the way you hold space without a single word, can pull her closer than any compliment ever could. You don't want to miss it. Number 9. Tension is the real attraction. Let me tell you something, folks. Attraction isn't built in comfort. It's born in tension. The space between what's said and what's felt, what's desired and what's held back. That's where real chemistry lives. Men who rush to close that space, who can't handle the silence or the suspense, kill the spark before it ever catches fire. But a man who knows how to hold tension, that's the man she can't stop thinking about. Take Daniel, 55, a divorced architect from Denver. He met Sophie, 48, at a weekend design retreat. From the first conversation, the chemistry was there, shared humor, that back and forth teasing that feels charged but unspoken. At one point she looked at him and said, "You always have that calm look, like you already know what's going to happen." Daniel smiled and simply said, "Maybe I do." Then, silence. A long pause, but not awkward, powerful. Sophie's eyes dropped. She laughed nervously, and the room suddenly felt smaller. That's tension, my friend, and that silence said more than any compliment could. See, tension isn't about words or even physical contact. It's about contrast, how you balance restraint with energy control, with presence. Women feel tension in your tone, your body language, your ability to stay composed when the air thickens. When she flirts and you don't rush to respond. When she leans in and you hold your ground instead of fidgeting. That's when she feels your masculine power. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." That's Stoic control in action. You don't fill space with noise, you let it breathe. You don't speak to prove your confidence. You let your stillness show it. In moments of attraction, less is more. Women are drawn to the emotional charge of uncertainty. They love the feeling of what if. When a man can live in that moment without breaking it, without needing a resolution, she feels magnetically pulled toward him. Because you're not reacting like every other man. You're not chasing the outcome, you're creating the energy. Think about this. Most men get uncomfortable in silence. They fill it with nervous laughter or small talk, trying to get a reaction. But a stoic man like Daniel, he knows silence is the stage where tension performs. He doesn't rush to close the gap. He lets it work for him. And that's when desire grows. It's primal. It's psychological. When she feels that steady gaze, that calm energy, she starts wondering, what's he thinking? What does he want? That curiosity keeps her engaged, because tension turns into attraction, and attraction turns into desire. Remember this, the goal isn't to create tension artificially. It's to stay composed enough to let it build naturally. When you stay grounded while she flirts, when you speak slowly and deliberately, when you match her energy without overstepping, that's mastery. In the end, women don't fall for the man who rushes to touch them. They fall for the man who makes every second before the touch matter. Tension is the art of being fully present while doing absolutely nothing, and that's what drives her wild. Drop this in the comments, I've felt that tension before. Stay tuned, because next we'll close this lesson by revealing how your presence, not your looks, not your words, is the one thing she truly can't resist. You'll want to hear this. Number 10. The Stoic way to turn desire into respect. All right, my friend, let's bring this full circle. Every man wants to be desired. But what separates a man she desires from a man she respects? It's simple control. The ability to stay grounded when every part of you wants to give in. Because here's the truth, physical attraction gets her attention, but emotional discipline earns her admiration. See, when a woman feels strong desire for you, she's not just drawn to your body or your looks, she's responding to your energy, the quiet confidence, the way you don't rush, don't beg, don't break your frame even when the tension rises. The moment you lose control, when you start chasing, bragging, or seeking validation, desire turns into disappointment. The Stoic man, however, knows how to stand still in the storm. He doesn't suppress desire, he channels it. He lets the attraction exist, but he doesn't let it rule him. That's power. That's the difference between being consumed by desire and commanding it. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." That's not just philosophy, that's the ultimate masculine discipline. When you master your emotions, you become untouchable, not cold, not distant, but composed. And women feel that difference. They respect it. Because in a world full of impulsive, reactive men, you stand out by being centered. Think about how this plays out in real life. When she flirts with you, you don't bite immediately. You smile, calm, steady. When she tests you emotionally, you don't fight back or defend, you hold your ground. When things get heated, you don't rush the moment, you slow it down. Every move you make shows her you're not chasing pleasure, you're leading connection. That's how desire evolves into respect. Because she sees a man who doesn't just want her, he chooses her. And choice is infinitely more powerful than hunger. Let's be real, folks. Most men crumble when desire hits. They lose their composure, say too much, move too fast. But the man who stays calm in the fire, he becomes unforgettable. Not because he resisted her, but because he handled her energy with grace. Seneca wrote, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it." Apply that here. Don't waste your masculine energy trying to impress or rush what's already unfolding. Use it to stay present, observant, aware. Because that's the moment where attraction becomes something deeper, respect, trust, and connection. When she feels both desire and respect for you, that's when everything changes. She doesn't just want your attention, she values your presence. She doesn't just crave your touch, she feels safe in your calm. And that, my friend, is what women truly respond to. In the end, turning desire into respect isn't about denying attraction, it's about mastering it. The Stoic man doesn't chase pleasure, he embodies it. He leads with restraint, moves with confidence, and communicates without noise. Because when you stop chasing moments and start owning your energy, you become something rare, a man who doesn't need to be desired to be respected. And that's the kind of man women remember long after the desire fades. You see, my friend, this entire video wasn't just about reading women or understanding attraction. It was about mastering yourself. Because when you move with calm, when you lead with awareness, and when you let control guide desire, that's when you stop chasing and start commanding presence. Everything we've talked about today, energy, patience, timing, respect, it all comes back to one truth. A Stoic man doesn't react, he responds. He doesn't chase validation, he builds value from within. That's the power that makes women feel drawn to you, not because you're trying to impress them, but because you've already earned your place as the man who doesn't need to. If you want to go deeper into this way of living, to master your energy, attraction, and masculine control, consider joining the Members Circle. Inside, we go further into the psychology, the Stoic mindset, and the daily practices that separate men who just get attention from men who command it. And if you haven't yet, make sure you subscribe to the channel. We've got more lessons coming tomorrow that you don't want to miss. Thanks for watching, my friend. Stay strong, stay calm, and as always, I'll see you in the next one.